Gladys worked as a graduate assistant at Rutgers. She shares how the hard work at Sky sharpened her skills, and she shares her story. Hello, Gladys. Thank you for coming for this interview.
Hi, Jamin. Thank you for having me.
It is a real pleasure in having you. Could you tell me your experience as a grad, as a graduate assistant?
I had a really good experience as a graduate assistant at Rutgers. I till this day, I think it's one of the best decisions I made
Hmm.
was to look into becoming a graduate assistant. I learned so much. I learned a lot about networking, which is something that I had no background information on. Networking really was something very, very new to me, and it honestly felt a little intimidating, because as a librarian, you don't think about networking, but it really is something that is so integral to librarianship. So I
Yeah.
really do appreciate that I was able to network with all sorts of departments. From I was in the library track, but being a graduate assistant, I had access to the data track, the MCM program. So everyone that came through careers and the SC and I program.
Yeah, that is the skill of communication and information.
I was like, yeah, that acronym always gets me.
I always just look at the sky and I'm like, ah, yes.
Yes, Scott,
Yeah.
with the ampersand.
Yes. So, I mean, I love that you had a great time in growing your skill in networking. I mean, that is very key. Could you tell me a story from when you were a grad assistant?
So just one, I'm kidding.
Tell me more. I'd
Um,
love to hear more.
one of the biggest projects I worked on as a graduate assistant was the Mingle, the Sky Mingle, which is a really huge program that happens once a year towards the end of the semester. And we have about 40 mentors or so with as many students as we can get, and we connect them together. And the goal is to have people network with either past alumni, current students, as well as mentors from all different fields. So it was really interesting to get to know the mentors from data companies, data security companies, because I had no access to that and I wouldn't have known about these fields if it hadn't been for the graduate program.
Yeah.
Um, so it was a really stressful situation, but in the best way. Like it really helped me with time management. It really helped me with figuring out who I was as a professional and then melding that with who I am personally and how to present myself in the best way, like how to sell myself, which is
Yeah.
not something I was used to. But it really is so integral to librarianship because you don't have to sell myself to patrons, sell myself to vendors, to the city managers. There's just so much networking that occurs. And to this day, I still talk to some of the people I met through the Sky Mingle. I really connect with Ildi whenever I need help. It really was such a great decision for me. And I can't say enough good things about the program.
It is a great program. And to be of assistance to LD is a different puts puts it puts a good amount of pressure where you grow automatically.
You know what? And I love how you said it because it is organic growth because she is, you're doing all these tasks that you're not aware of that are helping you grow because I would have never thought about it. But once I reflected upon my time there, I was like, wow, I really did do all these things. And it was such a rewarding experience. Like, I'm really glad I took a chance on it because as a librarian, I was like, oh, I don't know. But I'm like, oh, I guess why not try it?
Why not, right?
Yeah, I was like, why not?
What could go wrong? What could go right? Who knows? So, for the last part of this interview, I would like to ask what advice you would give to future grad assistants.
The biggest advice I would give, I guess, would be if it is a um, hard and rewarding thing to be a graduate assistant,
Yeah.
but it can be overwhelming as well. Like I know I found myself struggling a little bit, especially because I did it when we transitioned into the virtual world. So I would just offer like to speak up, to reach out, to seek help.
Yeah.
Everyone at the careers, I literally cannot say enough good things about everyone at careers, from LD to Kevin and everyone in between that I worked with, were so helpful and so knowledgeable. Um, like I said, I learned, the art of who I was professionally and helped me meld it to my personal self.
Yeah.
And they are such a wealth of information and resources. Like I was saying, how to sell myself that resume. So I had my resume that was really old, so it needed updating. So I
Right.
went to one of the drop-in sessions, and to this day, that resume is like, it makes me sound so eloquent. And I'm like, oh wow, look at all the things I learned as a graduate assistant. And I just, it really is hard, but everyone there wants us to succeed in the best way possible.
Yeah.
So it really benefits to seek help, even though it's hard. It can be hard. You're like, I don't want to admit it, it's overwhelming,
Yeah.
but I've had such a positive experience, and I'm, like I said, just eternally grateful for the program.
Yeah. I feel like you got a lot of great power because you had a lot of great responsibility.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly it. I couldn't have said it better, Jamin.
I mean, well, that sums up my questions. Thank you so much for your time. Thank
Thank
you.
you for having me. This was great. Thank you.
Thank you.